Hello again viewers, and welcome to another exciting video showing you how to get cheap flights to Tenerife. So quite a lot of viewers have asked me, Kevin, watch some of the videos and you've mentioned some of the flights you've got out to Tenerife have been really cheap. How do you get these cheap flights? And I've got to be honest, it's not really a big secret. It's a site that everybody should probably bookmark and use, and you've probably used it yourself, skyscanner.net. What Skyscanner does basically is it just checks all the flights with all the airlines that go to your destination. So for Tenerife, for example, it'll check Ryanair, Jet2, TUI, EasyJet, and anybody else who goes to Tenerife basically. So I'll just quickly show you how to find the cheapest prices on Skyscanner. And it's pretty straightforward, but there's a couple of wee tips that will maybe save you some time and some money. Let me know in the comments if you found it useful. I don't do many of these videos. I'll do some more if you find it useful, but let me know. So all we do, we start off and we'll put in our destination airport. I'm just putting in Tenerife Any. It'll default to Tenerife South because that's where they go from Glasgow. I put in Glasgow Any, so that will cover Glasgow International Airport near me and also Glasgow Prestwick Airport, which is also near me. So Glasgow International is actually really in Paisley and it's not far from it, and Glasgow Prestwick is not anywhere near Glasgow really. It's in Prestwick, Ayrshire, but over half an hour away. But the flights go with Ryanair, so they call it Glasgow Prestwick. Either one doesn't bother me, they're both close. So what you want to do here is just put in your destination airport and put in your local airport. So the best choice for you, so it might be Manchester. If you're going from London, there's an option of putting London all, so it'll cover Gatwick, Stansted, Luton, Heathrow, cover them all. So really easy to use. All I do is Glasgow, Tenerife. Make sure you tick this wee button, you want direct flights only. And this is important, this one here, most people put specific dates in. Now you can do that and it'll quickly give you prices, but if you're a wee bit flexible with dates, you'll save a lot of money if you can go 1 or 2 days either side, or sometimes go for unusual durations. So instead of a week, maybe go for 6 days or 8 days. You'll quickly identify the cheap flights with Skyscanner, but what you want to do is always select this one here, whole month. So let's go for November, because that's just coming up. So I'm going to look for cheap flights coming up. We'll just put one adult just now. Economy, I'm not caring really who it's flying with or what the class is. Do we search for flights? So with Skyscanner, it's going to bring me up a wee grid here. And I'm going to make sure that I select this one, direct flights only. And you can quickly see on the grid, it identifies the cheapest flights going out of Glasgow airports in the next month. And I can also see I've got some cheap return flights coming back here as well. Now, when you click on some of these flights, by default, some of the cheap flights will come up in the spaces here as well. So that's another wee tip for you. Don't think there's no flights in these dates because they're empty. There is, they're just not displaying all the prices. And that'll basically just be because there's millions of people using the site and it will save them a bit of bandwidth, not displaying them all. So we're going to Saturday the 6th, why not? And I can quickly identify, looking at Saturday the 6th, if I fancied a quick break out to Tenerife, I wanted to go for 6 nights, coming back on Friday 12th, I can see there's cheap flights here, so it's saying the flights are £17 there and £17 back. Now we need to click on this to verify the prices. Sometimes the prices can be slightly different when we get to the final screen, but they don't differ much. If you're interested obviously in new videos from Tenerife, my name's Kevin. I've got a channel called Scotsman in Tenerife. Just go onto YouTube, type it in. I know many viewers are already subscribed. If you're not, click the wee red button there that says subscribe. And there's my wee face there. You can see that's when I seen that prices were going up in flights. I wasn't too pleased. I'm only joking. Now, here's the flights here. So all we're going to do is we're going to click Find Flights. Skyscanner is going to scan all the cheapest flights with all the airlines that we use. So I can see that Jet2 have got flights going out for £192 on this date. I'm not going to be booking obviously those flights. And Ryanair are going from Prestwick. PIK is the abbreviation for Prestwick. And they've got a return flight to Tenerife for £34. Now you may be able to get this even cheaper if you're going from London or Manchester. I'm just showing you flights from Glasgow. The flights they're okay. I mean, the Jet2 ones are better, to be honest, early in the morning and coming back in the mid-afternoon. But this doesn't bother me. I'll easily book these flights and save a wee bit of money. Now, here's another wee tip. You can see this one here, going with Ryanair and coming back in the better flight with Jet2 is £69 return. So there's a difference of about £35, but it's not really if you're taking just hand luggage or a couple of carry-on suitcases. With Ryanair, like myself, I might be taking a 10 kilogram small suitcase. So with Ryanair, I always have to book in a bag. That can cost anything between £10 and £20, depending on what deals Ryanair have got. If you book with Jet2, normally you can get away without booking the bag if you've got small suitcase. So that can save you up to £20. So although this in reflection looks dearer, it's not much more expensive than this one, because you're probably going to have to book a bag in if you're going for 6 days. If you don't need bags, it's £34. But we'll click on it just to check it out anyway. Now, with Skyscanner, be careful because they will list prices with a lot of different suppliers. And you can see we've got eDreams, we've got MyTrip, we've got Opodo, lastminute.com. Now these might all be good companies. I don't recommend booking flights with them, but you're much better booking direct with the company they're going to be flying with. What it basically means is if you have to change your flight or amend the booking, you can go direct to Ryanair or Jet2, etc. You don't have to go through a third party, which is going to cause you a bit of grief. So it's telling me to check the availability at Ryanair. So I'm just going to go in and check the flights with Ryanair. And as you can see, they're pretty cheap. So we've got them coming up here. Now, as I said, the flights were coming up from £34. Remember I said they're not always the price displayed in here because you can book them through different companies. Again, when you go into add-on stuff here like bags and seats and all that, they can be slightly different prices from Ryanair, so I don't recommend it. Pay a wee bit more and book direct with the company you're going to be flying with. So Ryanair, £20 basically, and £23.49. So they're really cheap. It's a wee bit more than shown on the grid, but it's still what, £43 for a return flight to Tenerife. Maybe add on a bag. A bag's going to cost me maybe about £12 each way. Another wee tip with Ryanair, I'll do another video, is don't add your bag on right away. Add the flight to your basket and then go through to add your seats, and then sometimes Ryanair will offer you what they call a downsell. They'll offer you a cheaper rate for carry-on suitcases and priority boarding. So that's normally £20 and you get it sometimes for about £12 or even £10. Check it out, let me know if it works. Sometimes it doesn't come up, sometimes it does, but it's worth just checking that as well. So there we go, we've got return flights, £43.48 to be exact, to Tenerife. Add on your bags, still really cheap. If I wanted to do it with Jet2, then I could just go to Jet2's flight website. I could book in the outgoing flight with Ryanair because it's going to be far cheaper, and then the one back with Jet2 is going to be really cheap as well. But what Skyscanner does is just at the click of a button, is it quickly identifies all the cheap flights, and I can play about with this. If I want to go to December, I'll go to the next month. You can see the prices go way up at Christmas time, but you can keep an eye on that, do price alerts. If you want to go at Christmas, just keep a wee eye on it. So December you can see is a wee bit more expensive. January's not too bad, but if we go back to December, you'll see that the prices will vary depending when you're coming back. So let's say in December I wanted to go out on the 11th, and I wanted to come back on the 18th. So we've got flights from £56. As you've seen earlier on, there might be a wee bit more than that. That might be third party providers selling the flights. Don't book with them, book direct through Ryanair, EasyJet, TUI, Jet2. Always book direct through the airline. It's a lot easier if you have to get refunds or amend flights. So I hope you found the video useful. This is how I find cheap flights all the time to Tenerife and other places. Keep an eye on it. Do price alerts. If you're flexible with dates, always use the whole month grid, never use specific dates. And if you're looking for flights for next year, maybe March, then you can quickly identify the cheaper flights around about this time as well. It's just a case of going through all the grids, just checking to see what's available. You can play around with it. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that wee red button that says subscribe. I do travel updates. Let me know, have you found the video useful? Would you be interested in more videos like that? Or do you just prefer the videos walking down the beach, looking at all the bars in Tenerife? You probably do. Let me know. But thanks for watching anyway, and I'll see you in the next one.